My name is George Louis, Duke of Brunswick-Lüneburg, later known as King George I of Great Britain and Ireland. My ascension to the throne in 1714 was not the result of conquest or revolution, but of an intricate web of dynastic politics and the Protestant succession mandated by the Act of Settlement of 1701. As the great-grandson of James I, I was deemed the closest Protestant heir to the throne when Queen Anne, the last Stuart monarch, passed away without an heir. Born in 1660 in Hanover, I never imagined that one day I would rule over a kingdom across the North Sea. My early years were marked by military campaigns and the governance of Hanover, a duchy I inherited in 1698. My upbringing instilled in me a deep sense of duty and an appreciation for pragmatic governance. Though I spoke little English and was unfamiliar with British customs, I was determined to honour my obligations as monarch. When I arrived in England, I found a land divided by political factions, the Whigs and Tories, whose rivalries were as intense as they were perplexing. The Whigs supported my reign, ensuring that I maintained my throne amidst Jacobite plots to restore the Catholic Stuarts. I relied heavily on my ministers, particularly Robert Walpole, who would later be recognised as Britain's first de facto Prime Minister. Their guidance was invaluable as I navigated the complexities of a parliamentary system that differed greatly from the autocratic rule I had known in Hanover. My reign was marked by significant challenges and achievements. The Jacobite Rising of 1715 tested the stability of my rule. The rebellion sought to place James Francis Edward Stuart, the Old Pretender, on the throne. With the loyalty of my army and the resolve of my government, we quelled the uprising, reinforcing the Protestant succession. Yet, I remained vigilant, for the threat of Jacobite insurrection lingered throughout my reign. Economically, my era witnessed the South Sea Bubble, a financial crisis that shook the nation. The South Sea Company had promised immense profits, but speculative investments led to a catastrophic collapse. Though the crisis tarnished many reputations, my government survived, and reforms were introduced to prevent such disasters in the future. Culturally, my reign laid the groundwork for what would later be known as the Georgian era. While I am often criticized for my perceived indifference to English society, I took a keen interest in music and the arts. My court was graced by the compositions of George Friedrich Handel, whose works, such as the Water Music, became symbols of my reign and enduring contributions to British culture. Despite my successes, I was not without flaws. My reserved nature and limited command of the English language alienated me from my subjects. Many viewed me as a foreign king, more concerned with Hanover than with Britain. This perception was not entirely unfounded, as I continued to devote considerable attention to my German domains. However, I regarded this dual responsibility as a strength, linking the fortunes of Britain and Hanover. As I reflect on my reign, I see it as a period of transition. I was the first of the Hanoverian dynasty, and my rule solidified the constitutional monarchy that defines Britain to this day. While I may not have captured the hearts of my subjects, I believe I fulfilled my duty to secure stability and safeguard the Protestant succession. In 1727, I embarked on a journey to Hanover, as I often did, but it would be my last. I passed away on June 11th of that year, leaving the throne to my son, George II. Though my time in England was fraught with challenges, I take pride in having laid the foundations for a dynasty that would shape the course of British history.